Here we are, Digestive Physiology PowerPoint number 2. We need to talk about the peritoneum again. Remember the serous membranes. This is a Bio 201 topic. So we already talked this semester about the pericardium and about the pleura. Now we're down to the peritoneum. The serous membranes in the abdominal cavity, all right? So it's the serous membrane in the abdominal cavity. Remember, there's both visceral and parietal. Viscera means organ, so the visceral layer is on the organ itself. Parietal means wall, so the parietal peritoneum is on the wall of the abdominal cavity. Now, most of the organs of the abdominal cavity are within the peritoneal cavity, but a few are not. The duodenum, the first section of the small intestine, the pancreas, and the large intestine are retroperitoneal. This actually makes a difference later on when, if a patient has some sort of a bleed in the abdomen, it makes a difference whether or not it's inside the peritoneum or not. It makes a big difference in where the blood is going to accumulate and therefore what the symptoms and things are. Dorsal mesentery and ventral mesentery, I'm not horribly concerned about the exact difference between them. You can look those over. We're going to talk about lesser and greater omentum in the slide coming up, and that's the most important part of this, okay? So the lesser and greater omentum. Lesser omentum attaches the stomach to the liver. It's kind of like a hanger. The stomach has to hang off of the liver. That keeps it from falling down into the bottom of your pelvic cavity. The greater omentum covers the large intestine. Well, it covers the small intestine, goes around the borders of the large intestine. That's a place in humans for adipose deposition. And there you see in the little picture on the left, little photo on the left, Dr. Dumbass there with Oprah. There's the greater omentum of an obese person versus Oprah has a more normal greater omentum. Look at all the adipose deposited there. So here we see close-up picture with the greater omentum lifted out of the way. The mesentery holds the small intestine in place, once again, so it doesn't drop down to the bottom of your pelvic cavity. Whereas the mesocolon holds the large intestine in place. See, it's very easy. They say what they are. Mesocolon holds the colon in place. Mesentery holds the small intestine in place, all right? We'll see those in the lab. I'll be marking those on the lab exam, okay? There you see the greater, and greatest omentums. When we add adipose to our body, it doesn't just go to one place. You see all this nonsense stuff on TV about reduce belly fat. No, you don't have any choice for where you're going to reduce fat. Notice as you put on fat, it goes to several places. A lot of it will go to the greater omentum. Notice it also, though, basically just goes around your internal organs as well. So you increase adipose around all of your internal organs, all right? How do we regulate the digestive tract? Well, remember, what were the two of the 11 organ systems in the human body? What were the two that controlled the other 9? The nervous system and the endocrine system. So neural control, there are short mesenteric reflexes, they're called swallowing, controlled by the cranial nerves you already know about, glossopharyngeal, vagus, hypoglossal. Long vagal reflexes from the parasympathetic travel via cranial nerve 10, okay? You've already seen this. There should be a lot of review here, all right? Hormones get into the bloodstream. They go to distant targets. Paracrines are the third form of communication. Remember, those are just little things that go cell to cell. Like all the cytokines and the interleukins we've been talking about during the immune system. Those are examples of paracrines. There are lots of different paracrines. So basically, in the digestive tract, we have both local and long distance control from nervous system, from endocrine system, and local cells. And digestive system, actually, even if you go down to the so-called lower animals, I mean, look at the lobster. It's got the same digestive organs, basically, we do. Snail, a cockroach, they all have essentially the same thing. So you're not all that different from a cockroach, frankly, all right? See, you're a lot more similar to a cockroach than you might think. That's a cockroach, like for the swimming pool, an inflatable thing you can lie on. Some of you especially, from Men in Black, I don't even remember him. I saw that movie. He was the alien, who was the insect alien. Okay, there's just a great, that's in the lab PowerPoint as well. There's just a great picture of all the oral cavity and the various structures within it. Oral cavity, cheeks and lips keep food between teeth for chewing. Remember we talked about Bell's palsy. One of the problems they had was food falls out of their mouth when they try to eat. So cheek, teeth are chewing, cheek and lips actually hold food in while the teeth can work on it. Essential for speech and suckling in infants. You can't speak without a tongue and lips. You can't do it. And infants can't suckle without tongue and lips. Vestibule is the space in between the teeth and the cheeks. The lips have the vermilion, that's the reddish part, and then the Cupid's bow, you may know that term. The upper lip, how it dips in like a bow, sometimes that's called the Cupid's bow. Tongue is a sensitive, muscular manipulator of food. Papillae and taste buds on the dorsal surface. Sublingual salivary glands secrete saliva. Tonsils are in the root. So remember 3 salivary glands. We saw that in the lab. Parotid, submandibular, sublingual. Hard and soft palate. They allow breathing and chewing at the same time. If it were all soft palate, when you swallowed, you wouldn't be able to breathe. But the fact that there's a hard palate maintains a patent space where air can continue to come through even while you're chewing and swallowing. And that's a former student of mine who told me that she had a weird uvula that looked like a little punching bag. I said, okay. And she showed it to me and I said, let me get a picture. So I did. So that's Liz's uvula. And that doesn't look comfortable to me. I don't know. Maybe. It's your choice. And that's something that you should not be doing now with the coronavirus, okay? Oh my God, that's disgusting. Okay, teeth. You have 20 baby teeth. They're formerly called deciduous teeth. And then 32 permanent teeth. Deciduous teeth normally start coming in around age 2 or before, but by age 2. By age 6, you start losing your deciduous teeth. And that's right, they come in by, never mind. Permanent teeth normally start coming in somewhere around age 6. And some of the ones may not come in until mid-20s, all right? So just figure it out. You're there. It's all good. Look at some on the left. Animals have totally different teeth than we do. It's very fascinating. There you can see one of the ones that has the asterisk in the upper jaw. That's the canine. Look how it's right underneath the eye. That's why canines are called eye teeth sometimes. There you go. Child's skull before losing baby teeth. The permanent teeth are underneath. They literally just push up, all right? They're there basically. The buds are there at birth, and then they just develop, and eventually they mature, and they push the deciduous teeth out of the way. Tooth structures, so periodontal ligament, we saw that in Bio 201 when we talked about joints. So remember, that's modified periosteum, the outer covering on the bone, anchors into the alveolus, holds the tooth in place. Enamel is not a cellular secretion. It's formed during embryonic development. It is the hardest substance in the human body. That's why dogs can chew up bones. Enamel is harder than bone. Cementum and dentin, basically the same thing. It's called dentin if it's above the gum line, and it's called cementum if it's below. Root canal leads into the pulp. Everybody talks about getting a root canal. That's actually not the name for it. Dentists call it just an endodontic procedure. The root canal is actually the space where the blood vessels and the nerve are within the root. Gingiva are your gums. Oops, I talked over the transition. I said never to do that. I don't know if those words came through. Got to finish this up here. Types of teeth. I already talked about this in the lab. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time here because I don't want this PowerPoint to get too big. Incisors bite off pieces of things. Canines and predators, they hold prey. They also tear it apart. Premolars can be specialized in some some mammals, as slicing teeth called carnassials. We don't have that. We have flat molars because we're omnivores. We eat both plants and vegetables and animals. Okay. Mastication, chewing, breaks food into smaller pieces. Increases the surface area, more exposure to digestive enzymes. Nothing complicated here. All these muscles you learned in Bio 201, or at least some of you should have. That's, yeah, you just chew it up. The muscles, the main chewing muscles are masseter and temporalis. They are the powerful chewing muscles. Animals like hyenas have massive masseters and temporal bones. That's why they can actually just crunch up bone. So here you go. Which of the following are accessory organs of the digestive system? Duodenum, jejunum, and ileum, mesentery and mesocolon, gallbladder, pancreas, and liver, esophagus, stomach, and intestines, or cecum and colon. So pause the movie, pick your answer, and then go on to the next slide. And there you go. Those are the accessory organs. Food doesn't actually go into those. Those just secrete things that help break food down. And once again, this is where I'm going as soon as this is over. That's Toro Leap at the Grand Canyon. What a spectacular place. I hope I die here. Better than a nursing home. Okay, see you again in the next Digestive Physiology number 3 PowerPoint.